Hi y'all. We are going to go ahead and look at the problems that you did Friday. I did some of the video notes with you, and then you had to finish a couple on your own. So remember, the steps to solving multi-step equations and ones with variables on both sides. The first step is to distribute if you can. You may not always have parentheses with a number in front of it that will allow you to distribute, so only if you can. The second step is to combine like terms on left side and right side. And the third step is to get variables to one side. And the last step is to just solve. Okay, so we want to follow those steps when we're doing this. All right, so if we look at our problem that we have here, it looks like I do have things to distribute. So I'm going to distribute the 8, and then be very careful. What kind of 2 is that I need to distribute? It is a negative 2. When I distribute, I multiply. So 8 times y is 8y. 8 times positive 4 is positive 32. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y. Negative 2 times, that is a negative 1, would be a positive 1. And just leave that right-hand side for right now. All right, now we want to go ahead and combine like terms on the left side and the right side, if you have any. Now look at this left side. Do I have any like terms on the left side? And it looks to me like I do. Y's with y, so 8y minus 2y is 6y. Remember, when they're on the same side together, you do what it says. And then my constant numbers, 32, positive 32, plus 1 would be 33. And the right side has no like terms, so just leave it. All right, now get variables to one side. I have this variable here and this variable on the other side. The rule of thumb is usually to bring the smaller variable over to the larger variable by using your inverse operations. Well, this is a positive 6y, this is a negative 3y. The negative 3y is smaller. Bring it over, bring it to the 6y by doing your inverse operations. The opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. And let's see what we're left with. 9y plus 33 equals 70. These two things, negative 3 plus 3 is 0, and 0 times y is 0, so I don't even need to put that. Okay, but I just want to make sure you realize some people always think they need to leave the y, and that is not the case. 0 times y is 0. So you're left with a basic two-step equation that you know how to solve. You can't touch anything with your y until you get everything else out of there. So get rid of the plus 33 by minusing 33. These cancel to 0, and I'm left with 9y equals 70 minus 33. What do we get? 37? Why is this not working out right? I'm assuming that should be 36. Let's go ahead and double check. Did I do something wrong up here? Oh, I did. Who caught me? Silly me. This negative 2 times negative 1 is plus 2. So 32 plus 2, this should be a 34. I bet y'all caught me, but you couldn't tell me because I'm videoing myself. So that's a 34, so you're minusing 34. If I do that, we get a 36. So y should equal 36 divided by 9 is 4. That's just proof that I can make silly mistakes too. I'm human. All right, hopefully y'all got that correct. Let's go on to, so then you had your special solutions, which means that the variables ended up disappearing. You could either get no solution or infinitely many solutions, or all real numbers, whatever way you want to say that. So let's go ahead and look at that. You had to do, I think I did 1 and 3 with you, and you had to do 2 and 4 on your own. All right, so we're following the same steps. Remember, distribute if you can, combine like terms on the left, combine like terms on the right, get the variables to one side, and then go ahead and solve. So I got some distributing that I can do here. So what's that give me? 12x. 6 times negative 6 would be minus 36. And then on the right side, I can also distribute that negative 7. So negative 7 times negative 2x is positive 14x. Negative 7 times positive 4 is negative 28. Do I have any like terms on this side? I do not. It's all cleaned up. Do I have any like terms on the right side? I do not. It's all cleaned up. So I'm on to step 3. Step 3 is to bring your variables to one side. This is a 12x. This is a 14x. Rule of thumb is bring the smaller to the larger. Well, this one's smaller and it's a positive 12x. So do the inverse of positive, which is negative. So this cancels to 0, and I'm just left with that negative 36. 14x minus 12x is 2x. And then leave your minus 28. And now I'm just ready to do my basic solving. If I want to solve, for x, I can't touch 2x till I get rid of the minus 28. So add 28. Those cancel to 0, and I'm just left with 2x. Negative 36 plus 28 is negative 8. I want to go ahead and finish solving for x. Can't touch that x till I get rid of the 2. When they're next to each other, it's multiplication. The opposite is division, so divide by 2. Anything divided by itself is 1. 1 times x is x. Negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. So this one actually worked out for us. We didn't get a no solution or an infinitely many. Hopefully we'll get that on the next one. All right, number 4. Distribute if you can. I have nothing to distribute on the left, so leave it. On the right, it looks like I have a few things to distribute. I can first do my 7. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times positive 2 is positive 14. And then be cautious. I am distributing that negative 4. The whole thing goes in. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 7 is positive 28. The next step is to combine your like terms on the left side. I got no like terms on that left side, so just bring it down. And then combine your like terms on the right side. X's with x's, constant numbers with constant numbers. So 7x minus 4x gives me a 3x. Positive 14 plus 28 gives me what? 42? Oh, now my next step is to get your variables to one side. And rule of thumb is to usually bring the smaller to the larger. But guess what? They're exactly the same. If I bring one to the other, that's a positive 3x. I'm going to do the inverse and subtract it. What's going to happen here? Now, guys, remember, anything minus itself is 0. A lot of you are wanting to put x. 3 minus 3 is 0, and if you leave the x, 0 times x is 0, which is why I just cross it out, because you don't need to put that 0 as a placeholder. It basically goes away. And bring down what you are left with. So I am left with the negative 13 equals, again, anything minus itself is 0. The whole thing disappears, even that x, because 0 times x is 0. And now I'm left with this positive 42. When your variables disappear, two things can happen. It can either be a true statement or a false statement. Does negative 13 equal 42? It does not. Put the slash through the equal sign to show it doesn't equal. If it doesn't equal, your answer is no solution. There is no answer, no number that would satisfy this equation. Remember, if you got down to the very end, your variables disappeared, say you were left with negative 13 equals negative 13. You check to see, is that a true statement or a false statement? Well, that one's actually true. So if that's the case, then you say infinitely many solutions, which that's the symbol for it. That means every single number would work for this equation that you were left with that made you have that at the end. All right, if you are not with me today, I will see you in 2 days and we can go over anything you may have questions with. Have a great day. Look at the rest of your work, do it, and turn it in.